本期主讲人来自人力资源部的凯利，他今年59岁，曾在赞比亚大型公司工作过，现任人力资源部副经理。课程中，他分享了对组织、纪律、国际劳工组织与赞比亚劳工法律政策关系的理解，丰富的阅历提升了其授课的哲理性。
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Kelly Nswana. That letter in between is an abbreviation for my other name, Kalukango. But that Nswana simply means junior. When they name you before your father with the intention that you can take over, they'll call you Nswana in our Zambian tribe. So that's the meaning of that name. I'll be slow and at the same time I'll be elaborate so that we all move together. In the Human Resource Department, there are certain words that we normally use. The first word there, organization structure. Organization simply means the company itself. Before any company starts, first of all, there is an idea. Who he is and what he wants to do, where he wants to go. And this is what constitutes the vision, the mission, and the values. So once that idea is conceived, then the next thing, you have to form a structure. As you have seen my body, inside me, there are bones. The bones inside me makes me to look like this. So that's why, as a company, before you go anywhere, you have to form the structure, which is the bones. You come up with things like production department, you come up with finance, you come up with purchasing or marketing, transport, security, and so on. It becomes now an organization. Then the next thing now is to bring in people. Bringing someone is coming in peace, is happy, there is no problem. Or the only difficult part as you bring in somebody is when you want him to go out, to exit the company. So recruitment is an easy thing. Then as you bring that person in, there must be a relationship. So that relationship is going to be guided by a contract. On number 4 there, you'd find there is a word that we are using as induction. After someone has been contracted, you don't just send them to go and do work. You need to teach them about what is expected of them in their working environment. A newcomer, someone who is coming in the company, he may not understand what are the safety requirements, he may not understand the regulations, the culture, the rules, and also how the environment is. So you need that person to be taught. So the process of teaching that person is what we are calling induction. Discipline, it's a very, very important word for anything to succeed. Anything in this world, if you have to succeed, what works behind it's discipline. Even if you are a businessman, if you have to be rich, you have to be disciplined. Even if you are a sportsman, any person that you have heard that he has succeeded is a champion. It's because of discipline. Even in the marriage, if you have stayed for many years, it's because of discipline. In a nutshell, discipline was derived from an analog of a red hot stove. When the stove is red hot, anyone who sees the stove is red hot, if you touch it, it will burn you. Since we are human beings, sometimes we may not be fair because I may be too harsh. So I can be biased, I can be unfair. I can treat this one well while I treat that one bad. But in a company, to mitigate on that, there is what we call grievance. And there is also what we call complaint. These two words are used interchangeably, but they are different in the actual meaning. A grievance arises from what is agreed and when it's being violated. If I'm just imagining in the head, it's not in writing, but I complain, that becomes a complaint. Then we go to number 7. While you are working in the company, the reward for working, for providing a service will be a salary. But the way a country is managed is through taxes. We all know that it's through taxes. So in any given country, there are what we call statutory contributions to a country. Those contributions or deductions which will be done to a worker, it should go to the government coffers. And this is how the governments are run and developed. So in Zambia, most of the laws, just like anywhere in this world, are derived from the ILO Convention, International Labour Organization. So you'd find that each country will sign certain conventions depending on their ideology. Here in Zambia, we have signed about 48 conventions. but so far we have covered about 40. So you would note that certain things, they are there because of these conventions which we have signed as a country and which have been ratified. So you'd find that as an organization, there are certain statutory contributions which you are supposed to make, whether you like it or not. So the statutory contributions that we have currently are these: pay as you earn, NAPSA, National Health Insurance Policy. So you'd find that these are compulsory. All these will come from remuneration. In short, you are being compensated for the services that you are providing to the organization. Number 11 is talking about a Mother's Day. This is as a result of what we have ratified under the conventions under the labor laws. So each country in this world will try to adopt certain protocols under the conventions of the ILOs to help them formulate labor policies. So for example, most of the countries in the Middle East, because of their religion, which is Islam, a man gets more than a woman. Number 12, it is also part of the protocols that have been adopted by those countries under ILO to recognize the fact that if you put in a service for 12 months, it is expected that you be exhausted. You must go back to be recharged. According to law in Zambia, the minimum number of leave days applicable to an employee, even if you don't have someone to represent you, you'd find that you are entitled to 2 days for every month, and the minimum is 24, so that you can be recharged, like the way we look at a battery. And when he comes back to work, his performance will improve. Number 13, which is termination. This word simply means cutting off or separation. 8 ways under which you can execute the termination. The first way is through, say, retirement. The next could be through death. The next could be through redundancy. Or the next could be through retrenchment. The other way, it could be through resignation. Then the other way could be through medical discharge. So under all those grounds, there are reasons to allow someone to be separated or to be terminated. The last one is dismissal because of the disciplinary cause or measures. So it's important to observe that as the person leaves, laws and rules in place are followed. While now somebody is in the system, you know, sometimes when they get used, they stay longer. They stop working in the manner or in the standards. So there is what we call performance appraisal, which will be put a scale of measurement to check on the performance of people so that they maintain the same standards. Or number 15, job description. A person, when he's being appointed or when he's being given a position, he needs to be given a job description, parameters. The job description will simply describe your areas of interaction, things that you are supposed to do. The job description will give you parameters, how far you can go within your powers, and the job which you are expected to do and which you are employed for. It is important now to look at what we call job specification. If you assign someone to do some job, you should ensure at the same time that that person has got the necessary skills to execute that job. And those are what we call job specs or job specification. For you to come up with this, you should first of all analyze, which is the job analysis. When in production you are expecting 200, you would find you are making 150, because most people in their positions do not match with this. And this is HR's function, to ensure that these requirements or set standards are met. And then once that has been done, and as a way of appreciating the input from certain works or certain individuals at certain levels, management would recognize or appreciate individual performance in a different way. Then there will come a word called promotion. It means lifting someone from the lower level going up to the higher level. Then management want to improve or appreciate on your performance. They may not promote you, but they will appreciate you. What they will give you will be a merit increase. Every department is supposed to be audited. And if you had ISO standards in place, you'd find standards will be in writing. so that as you assume the office, without even talking to anyone, you are going to know what standards are applicable in every department. Sometimes their performance could be below the expected, could be below the set standards, which has got to do with the measurements. You'll be able to tell that the performance has gone below, and you find there will be proof. Then that person can be demoted. This question is saying, what are the main roles and functions of the Human Resource Department in China, and are they different in Zambia? It depends on the number of conventions that you have adopted as a country. And in most cases, we derive that from the ideology of the nation. I gave an example of the Middle East. So depending on those protocols, as a nation, we want to use this to formulate our labor laws. So this here cannot be equated. You have to understand this. And basically, that's how this question can be answered. Human resource is the center of all activities because they are initiators, actors, and end users. Why are we saying that? An initiator means he's the one who comes up with the idea, and at the same time, he works on that idea, and he is the one who, at the end, benefits. This part here is telling us the importance of Human Resource Department. And we have seen that the Human Resource Department protects the interest, the image, the success of the company in every way possible by complying with various laws. How does it work? It's through those processes. The human capital value, recruitment, induction, keep employees grounded. Employee management acts as the middleman, provide administrative papers, work, policy formulation, employee retention. They are formulators, interpreters, and implementers of company policies. And at the same time, they are the custodian of legal compliance. Everything that we do is derived from some legal aspect. Currently, like here in Zambia, you find we've got 8 acts, that is branches of law, where we derive most of our interpretation. And even as we formulate company policies, we bear in mind that we have to be confined with those laws. Those laws are quite versatile, and it depends when they can be interpreted and implemented, depending on the circumstances. Then they are a wealth of knowledge, and also they are a corporate image and public relations. There is an aspect of budget control and cost saving in line with departmental and corporate strategic plan. There are quite a number of conflicts that happens within an organization. You'd find that HR will be experts in the sense that they are always practicing or interpreting company policies. Number 8 there is performance improvement. This refers to the improvement of a business process function, the procedures and the intentions of improving the overall outcome. It is also important for HR to be part and parcel of the strategic growth of the institution. And if that is in place, you will be able to see the sustaining of the business. To interpret the linkages of HR, where management strategies, plans, and objectives for other departments are integrated, then one should be at corporate level. According to the engineering consultants and management, which is holding the largest, most companies across Europe, this is the contemporary HR functions that are designed to be followed in an organization like ours. Functions of HR will be basically, this will be treated as a section, that is the employment. It could be employment or recruitment. And then there is wages and salary administration. Then there is what we call industrial relations. Then we've got organization, planning, and development. And then you also find employee service. You find that under the employment, you will have the sub-functions, which is recruitment, selection, promotions, transfers, and so on. Just like under wages and salary administration, you'll have this as sub-functions. Then challenges. Some of the challenges which makes HR, have some difficulties from implementing their functions fully. Some of those challenges includes lack of management skills. You would find that in most managements, they will use HR as a dump site for certain individuals who don't have even the skills, we earlier observed that in order for someone to perform, he must meet certain specifications. So as a result, you find that in most cases, the people who are thrown there, they may not meet those specifications needed in order to execute the jobs properly. Those are some of the challenges. There is also lack of proper coordination and communications regarding changes in labor issues in the department. There is also ignorance of law. In most cases also, you would find that we intend to give more priority to production. There is also some resistance to release the staff to attend the training. Probably this could be the last part in terms of interpretation. You note that we just picked on the 2 months or so. You note that on monthly basis, on average, we are almost engaging about 20 people. And on average, we are almost separating about 29. This has an indication that the industrial relation may be affected because of those numbers. The turnover is quite high. If a proper analysis is done, there are certain areas that we need to improve on, because we should not be turned into a training ground for others, because this simply means that there is a skill fright. So something needs to be done, and we are looking into that and working towards that. Then in future, we are saying that we'll try by all means to review HR policies, being the basis of trying to meet the basis of the contemporary human resource objectives needed. See, we have already embarked on a deliberate policy in bringing the communication gaps arising from language and cultural differences. And already, of course, as you can see, this is one of the programs. Then we intend to shift from the traditional hire and to employee engagement and compete competitively in the labor market. And the rest, as you can see, it is all aimed at achieving and bringing about the sustainability, whereby at the end of the day, we should achieve the organization goals. The rest, I'm sure, as you can see, these photos trying to show that we are moving, we are not the same. As you can see, these are some of the areas as an organization. We are also introducing now even the magazine. There will be also some other social activities, and we are also improving the activities in the corporate social responsibility. And this also goes on even to depict that actually with stakeholders we are shaking hands in as far as the policies and agreement are concerned. As an organization, we are looking forward to giving equal opportunities to everyone in the organization. This is all aimed at bridging the gap and team building. I come to the end of the program.